Good morning. Welcome to Cooking for the Health of It. I am Dr. Karen Edwards, and I'm here to teach you about a whole food plant-based diet. And this is my trusty little assistant, Tammy. She's going to do the majority of the work. So today we want to welcome you, and many of you would wonder why you would want to be whole food plant-based. Is anyone in here on a whole food plant-based diet other than what we cooked last week? Tammy?
No.
Yes, you are. She was for quite a while.
I lied. I ate pizza last night.
That's all right. Okay, so what we're going to be teaching today is a good reason. Why would you want to go on a whole food plant-based diet, correct? There's a few reasons. Number one, as I taught all of my patients for the last 40 years, is for the health of it. Truly for the health of it. It can reverse diabetes, it can reverse cardiovascular disease, it can do many things in your body. It removes acidity, it helps arthritis, whatever the diagnosis names are. Probably 90% of them can be reversed through a whole food plant-based diet. And you're seeing more and more hospitals are opening up to this today, and schools even are opening up to adding more plants. So even if you don't want to jump in and take the whole dive to whole food plant-based, and I'm going to show you some really wonderful recipes how easy it is. If you don't want to take the whole dive, what you're really should be doing is eating at least 50% plant foods in a day, because plants are truly full of fiber, full of nutrition, full of vitamins, minerals, enzymes. It's our life force, and our food should truly be our medicine. And Dr. Hippocrates was the first doctor of naturopathy. He's the father of medicine, and he says, first do no harm and let food be thy medicine. So what we're going to do today is create medicine for your gut health, for your fiber, for your elimination, for your skin. What we're doing today is going to be 3 dressings on a wonderful green salad. Look at the color of the rainbow in here. You just have nature provides so many colors, and so many, in every color there's also nutrition. We can go through them step by step as we go along, but you're going to get the carotenoids, you're going to get the anthocyanins, you're going to get the protein. That's one of the things I hear all the time for people saying, where do you get your protein when you eat whole foods? Well, I can tell you everything we're using today in this recipe is chock full of protein. And not only is it protein, but it's usable amino acids, which is the whole profile of protein. So we're going to make a green salad today, starting out with 3 dressings. Drew, will you be putting the recipes up for people to have the ingredients through this?
Yes.
Okay.
You forward me the recipes, we will make it.
Yes.
And we'll cut it out.
Okay, so today we're doing Asian tahini salad dressing, which is really delicious and wonderful. We're doing taco dressing, and we're doing creamy balsamic. And in creating your own whole food plants, you cut out all the preservatives, you cut out the sugars, you cut out the animal fats, you cut out the oils, you cut out all of the things that are causing the diseased state that we're in. And if you think of what dis-ease is, your body is no longer in the ease. So we're going to bring it back in ease through food, letting food be our medicine. So today we're going to have Tammy grab the carafe of our Vitamix, which if you do begin to implement a whole foods diet, you're probably going to want a very strong blender, because most of my foods are done in here. I use my Vitamix at home 2 or 3, 4 times a day sometimes. So we're going to add a half a cup of tahini, and Clint put these all in order. So if you want to just put all of these in there, I'll have Tammy use a little spatula to get that in there. Tahini is a sesame, just ground sesames, like you would make peanut butter. This is just ground sesames, seeds. So you're just making a natural oil, so it is a whole food. Everything in here, there's no preservatives, no salt, no sugars, no animal fats. So the next thing we're going to do, we're also, as you see, we have a class also going on during this teaching. We're going to give everyone a sample of everything we do. So when Drew posts the recipe, we're going to have that is going to be for probably a 2 serving. This one we're making is ×6. So I'm not going to say the measurements in here because we will be posting it as well. So the next is water. We're just going to add some water in there. And then we're going to add some lemon juice. Lemon juice is a natural pH balancer. It's acid on a litmus paper, but if it goes into your body, as soon as it hits the salivary glands, it instantly turns into alkaline. So it's really one of the best foods for inflammation and alkalinity. Next one going in is going to be garlic and onion powder. And you can use fresh garlic, you can use fresh onions. For the class today, we've chose to do this because they have a beautiful array of spices. So we're just gonna have those come in. Next one's going to be ginger powder. So you can see we're getting the Asian flavors coming in, and you are going to get a sample of all three of these dressings on your salads that you get. Next is going to be maple syrup. And of course, maple syrup is very high in minerals, and that's what our body needs to build bones, to build tissue for hair, for all of the health of cardiovascular system, nervous system. We need minerals for everything. Bragg's liquid aminos, there's so many on the market. Bragg's is just a brand name. You can use coconut aminos. You can, if you don't have that, you can use a low sodium soy sauce. The good thing about plant-based diet is you can't go wrong in a recipe. If you don't have something, substitute something else. If you don't have enough of something, who's going to know? Just you. And the next one is going to be dark sesame oil, which is going to give it that yummy, nutty Asian flavor that we all love. And then salt, I don't use a lot of sodium because natural foods have their own sodiums, but just for the class, for something new for you, we're just going to put a little splash of organic sea salt in there. And she's going to blend that up. And this Vitamix is not really that loud, so we're happy for that. And then Clinton is getting the ingredients ready for the next dressing, which will be the taco dressing. So if you do choose to go whole food plant-based also, make sure that you have plenty of snacks available because you're going to be hungry. Your diet of the standard American diet is full of fat, it's full of sugar, it's full of oils, it's full of preservatives. So what you want to do is make sure you have enough snacks available. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So that's just a big thing that I like to teach that allows you to be ready for when your hunger strikes in. And when you first transition, you will feel hungry because you're used to the processed foods that fill that brain center, that the same center area that cocaine fills, believe it or not. It's the GABA center in our brain receptor that is pleased by processed foods and especially sugars, refined sugars. So nature offers a lot of natural sugars, and if they're whole foods, they'll break down. So you won't have the high rush of blood sugar, you won't have the high rush of high blood pressure. If it's a whole food, your body will break it down. Whereas if it's processed, that means they've taken something out. Yummy.
Does that look right?
That looks delicious.
Right consistency?
It's a little thinner than normal. Maybe we just added a little too much water, but guess what? It doesn't matter because it still tastes delicious. So if we could put this in a bowl somewhere to start with our salads later, and then Clint's going to give me one for the next recipe, and then each one of you will get a taste of all the different dressings. You smell it over there?
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, it does. A lot of good garlic in there. Another thing, if you do choose to go whole food plant-based, you're going to have a lot of people around you saying, why are you doing that? You know, what's the deal? Why are you doing that? You're not eating enough. Well, that's another thing you want to do is make sure you're eating enough. And there's plenty of fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and grains and lentils that we can fill our body. The good thing about eating whole food plant is you can eat as much as you want. And believe me, if you're eating a bowl of oatmeal with a lot of berries on it, maybe you have some seeds, some chia seeds on there, really delicious maple syrup. You eat a good sized bowl of that, you're going to be satiated. Your body's going to be full and it will tell you it's full. Whereas if we have a pizza laid out in front of us with all the processed, and you have the cheese and you have the fats, you're going to want to eat the whole pizza, maybe half of it. But in whole foods, your body tells you when it's time to stop. So if you want to reverse, or you want to just heal your body in any way, we have to give it what the fuel is intended for our bodies. And the perfect fuel in studies have been the whole food plant-based diet. If you look at the China study, which we talked about last week, that's a 25-year study that Dr. Colin Campbell and his associates wrote. And they actually did a study in China for 25 years of how you could turn on cancer cells, how you could turn on diabetes and all these other diseases. And it's by adding meat and animal products. So if you want to turn those receptors off, you have to really look into the whole food plant. If people do discredit you for changing this diet, and people will. They're going to look at your plate and wonder why you're not eating the foods that they're eating, or come on, just have a piece of cake. It's only one won't hurt you. One wouldn't, but one will lead to more and more. And another thing is, if you do choose to adopt a whole food plant-based and you fall off of it, just get back up. It's no big deal. We all do it. Everybody does. And it's not what you do occasionally, it's what you do regularly that's important. So if you're choosing to turn into a whole food plant-based diet lifestyle, then find your tribe, and we're having it here. We're going to have a lot of support through the people, and the more you taste these foods each week or every other week when we do the shows, the more you're going to find the satisfying of it. Remember last week? Anyone not like what we had last week? Anyone remember what we had last week? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, it was delicious, and everybody commented on it, and it was very pleasing.
There you go. We're doing here. Good job, Kenny.
Are we? Oh, okay. Clinton remembers what it was. Thank you. And it was delicious. That was cooked. Today we're not using the fan and the heater. Normally if we do the cooked foods, we'll be having that all prepped. But today we just chose to introduce more of the plant-based lifestyle and show you how easy a delicious salad can be. And if you do choose to eat healthier, you're definitely going to want to learn to love a good salad. And think about these salad dressings that we're making. There's no preservatives, there's no animal fats, it's actually food for health. It's going to heal your body. So what we're doing truly is cooking for the health of it. Today everything we're making is raw, and the more raw, the closer you can get to nature, the more your body's going to heal and reverse disease. So we're ready for round number 2. Thank you, Clinton and Tammy. This is going to be the taco dressing. People love this. This is just so delicious. In here, we're going to put half a cup of raw cashews, more because we're serving quite a few more people. But raw cashews are just chock full of potassium and magnesium and all the minerals that we need for the nervous system. How many times do you hear somebody saying they're depressed, they're anxious, they're stressed? We can't change the circumstances around us of why we're stressed, but you certainly can change how your body reacts to the stressors. So if you're giving it the food that it needs, you're certainly going to not feel the stressor physiologically as you would without eating whole foods. All right, so next, Tammy, we've got a salsa. You can use any salsa of choice. Some people like it really hot. We didn't choose one today because maybe someone here wouldn't. If I was cooking at home, my husband would say the hottest we have. He can eat straight hot peppers, the habanero, the ghost pepper. I actually made ghost peppers and he eats them like potato chips. So we're going to add a apple cider vinegar. Is going to be next. And that is also a pH balancer. Apple cider vinegar is something great as feeding the probiotics and good gut bacteria to your intestines. So all of us that have, if you have skin problems, if we're overweight, if we have hair loss, if we have eczema, in fact, all health starts in our gut. So good apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, and I'm sure you've heard what that means, it has the little streaks of probiotics in it. You have to shake it really good. So healthy for you. If you just have a tablespoon of that a day, that's truly medicine. You can use that for your enzymes before each meal. I used to have patients that would just keep their apple cider vinegar in their purse. If they'd go out to eat, anytime you would want to eat something else, it's a good enzyme. All right, what are we having next here? We are adding taco mix. They have it already made up. However, if you choose not to do the taco mix, you can add your cumin, chili powder, oregano, and salt, and that's what makes taco mix. So we just made it easy because they had it already here. And next I think we have, is this garlic? Oh, he chopped that up really nice. Is that garlic?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you, Clinton. You could use powdered garlic as well, but he made the fresh garlic, which is my favorite. So Tammy's going to add all this to the blender.
Do you put any salt in it?
You can put a little salt in there too, yeah. There might be enough in the salsa, but we'll just give it another couple squirts there of the organic sea salt. Sodium, of course, is a offender. If it's a table salt, they bleach it. They put fillers in there, and it's extremely bad. It goes into your arteries, it cuts your arteries, and that's what causes the high blood pressure. Oh, wait a moment. You could add some more water if it looks like it needs to be thinned out a little bit. So sometimes if you're blending your dressings, the first one was just a little too thin. We could have added more tahini, we could have added more ingredients to it. This one's a little too thick, so we're just going to continue to add some more water until we get the consistency we like. But when it comes to salt, the Himalayan sea salt, the Celtic sea salt, those actually have 98 minerals. We have 102 in our body, so you can see how many minerals is being given to your body just through salts. Not to go overboard, but maybe a teaspoon a day is very good for cleansing your gut and for just all around good health for the mineral needs that we have. While she's doing that, I'm going to start chopping up some more greens for our salad. We've got a spring mix that you can purchase. We started out with that. You don't have to use it. Can I get a big knife, please? Knife? Yes. Fresh baby tomatoes still coming in from the garden. Kale, Swiss chard still coming in from the garden. The cool crops are my favorite. Thank you so much. So we're just going to chop up some romaine, put that in the spring mix that we have. There's no right or wrong way to do your chopping. Just keep your fingers out of the way. That's the right way. So I use my fingers a lot at home, so in the cooking show, you'll probably find me doing that too. I did wash my hands just before we started. So I like to add a lot of color, and the red pepper is going to add the carotenoids, the anthocyanins. You're going to get the fiber, the enzymes. Everything is still alive in this food. So I like to just cut the sides off, keep the seeds intact here, and we'll put that in the recycle bin. There's no right or wrong way to cut your peppers. I like to sometimes keep them. This one has a baby in it. Get lucky sometimes and get two. Or you can chop them in small squares. Sometimes that's easier for people to eat that way. Little small squares. We're going to add a little broccoli to ours today. Clint has made the large salads so everyone can have dinner after. Again, same thing with the broccoli. You can chop them any way you like. You can put them in larger pieces. Sometimes you could just break them up like this. I like to get a salad made early in the morning and then just let it sit out, cover it, and let it sit at room temperature. And then I'll make whatever dressing I'm in the mood for at that time. So we do have some little tomatoes that I just picked this morning out of the garden. If you don't have a garden to pick them out of, and ours is almost coming to a close, then of course purchase what you can get. And your local health food store will have good organic produce. If you do not have organic produce, just use some regular white vinegar. Maybe mix 2 tablespoons to a cup of water to wash the chemical spray off of your produce. However, if it's genetically modified, there's nothing you can wipe off because the genetics is in the seed itself. So just get whatever produce you can get in you. That's the most important thing. All right, so I do have some kale here, and one of the easy ways, if this will work for me, you strip your kale, is just pull it off that way, and you got your stem left. And I like to save the stems for juicing, or you can use them in your stews, chop them up. And I'm just going to do a few of these to show you how to chiffonade. Remember last week when we did the chiffonade rolling of the greeneries? Just take as many greens as you want. You can do this with herbs as well, and just chop them up really, really fine. And what you're doing is making little ribbons out of it. Ooh, that looks good. It smells good. So as you can see, this taco dip, how thick this is going to be almost like a dip, and that's going to be delicious. In fact, we'll put a little spoonful of that right on our salad now. So then you can just dip each bite in there. That's going to be yummy. So then after you chiffonade, you get these little ribbons. And that makes it easier to eat, because if they're large, then it makes it a little more difficult. All right, in the broccoli, when you buy broccoli, it's pretty expensive, as we all know. you get these long stems in there, and most people would just chop those off and throw them away, put them in their compost. What you can do is just take the side skins off, just cut them off, again watching your fingers. I'm sure everyone knows how to use a knife, so I'm not going to show you that. I've been cut many times, so obviously I don't know how to use one. But then you have this little stem that tastes exactly like your broccoli, and it's food. There's no sense in wasting food at the cost of food today. So you can cut them small, you can dice them, you could add them any way you want to. I like to just maybe dice them up a little bit more to make them bite-sized. And then add that to your salad. So you can see we're starting to build a really healthy, nutritional foundation for your day. You can eat this, what is it, 9:30 now? You can eat it, which we will be eating it when we're done with this class. Or you can just go ahead and let it sit like I do and wait till the afternoon and put your dressings on it. Now when a salad is my main meal, I'll have one this size at least. This will be, I'll just load this with all kinds of greens because this is your meal. So you want to be filling your body with enough food. So this would be a little snack. This would be a great snack in between meals. But most people think of a salad, you think of the side salad you get in a restaurant, the little leaf or the head lettuce, which really does not have much nutritional value to it. So you really want to build your nutrition food as medicine right here. Just one more dressing, right? Okay, so our next dressing we're doing today is the creamy balsamic. We do not have balsamic today, so we're going to use apple cider vinegar. You can use rice wine vinegar. You can use any type of vinegar that you have, but the balsamic gives it a richer, creamier taste. Choose anything that you have. That's the key in Whole Foods. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just toss those right in the blender. And this one's going to be apple cider vinegar, water. This one has Dijon mustard added to it. We're going to add a teaspoon of nutritional yeast, which again the teaspoon is the recipe you'll be getting when it's shown. But nutritional yeast is if you're whole food plant-based, you're not eating animals, they say you're B12 deficient. I have never been B12 deficient, but I do like to take B12 because it's quite healing to your nervous system. It's good for your brain, it's good for your recall, for your memory. So B12 is very important for your nervous system completely. And that's important for just the health of it, truly. What am I going with this? That is oregano? Basil, that's dried basil. Okay. But you could use oregano. Again, it's whatever you have is what you'll use.
Is that it?
Did you get the nutritional yeast?
Yes.
Yep. And a little bit of salt, and you could add a little pepper if you want to that too. Now that one normally, that'll probably blend, but you've got that other little component. If that one doesn't work, they have the real top of the line Vitamix here. It's got all the adapters to it. I'm a little jealous, I might have to have one of those. So the nutritional yeast being naturally nutrition of the B12 in there, it's grown on molasses, sometimes it's grown on rice. So it's the yeast that's on the back side of that, highly nutritional. What it does, it adds a flavor component of cheese to your dressings, to your sauces. And the cashews that we use for dressings, those give the nutrition, of course, with the potassium, magnesium, the iron that's necessary, but you're also getting that thickness and that creaminess that the cashews offer. So just to go over a little bit, and I also sent this to Drew, he might put that on the board with the recipe. If you do choose to transition or even open up your mind to go whole food plant-based in any way, whether it's a small percent, whether it's a large percent, there's some really wonderful documentaries that I will tell you about and you can watch. You can probably see them free on YouTube. I think all of them are free on YouTube. But Forks Over Knives, anybody seen that one? It's really wonderful, and it'll open your eyes to the real issue that's happening to people's health and why it's happening with our. Okay, that looks good too. A little. You can make it as thick or thin as you want. It's going to taste delicious. This is more like a Italian balsamic, and this is going to go on there as well. You're gonna love this. It's going to be good. So another one is called the Game Changers, and everybody will get a copy of this. One of my favorites is the Food is Medicine, Food Matters, Plant Nation, The Invisible Nation. There's just so many of them, and have a very large list if anyone is interested, but what I'll be giving you today is probably about 10. And then of course, if you get an opportunity, please read the China Study. It's going to be at any library you go to. It's a very, very popular book that's out there. And then also I think his name is Dr. Greger. He has a book out called How Not to Die. And I love it. He's got so many wonderful recipes in there, and they're all whole food plant-based, and they're delicious. I have a recipe book out called, but it's not for sale. This was just for my patients. It's called, I think I gave it to Drew. I don't have a copy of it.
Eat to live.
Eat to Live. Thank you. And as it is, most of us do live to eat because the taste of food is so good, and they market it that way intentionally. It's not a mistake that we eat an ice cream cone and we are just so in love with it and we want more. Even if you're stuffed full, you still want more. It's no mistake. They actually have laboratories where they have flavor enhancers that light up that center of your brain the same way cocaine or heroin does. It lights up your brain the same way. So if you're trying to get off of any kind of addictions, it's really, really important to start a whole food plant-based, because then you're not adding addictions or changing one for another. And I've had so much success with people over the years, and it's not easy. You have to have support. So that's what I say, find your tribe. I know we're building a great tribe here in Michigan City. I've got a lot of patients that live this lifestyle and have reversed health. They've reversed disease, and I reversed type 1 insulin-dependent diabetes many, many years ago because I was given the food that God originally intended for us. Okay, so what we're going to do is just add a little bit more of the dressings to this. I did not... Is there like a spatula I could stir this up with a little bit?
Do you want tongs?
Yes, tongs, thank you. Thank you. Oh, look at hers. This one's for everyone else. So I'm just going to stir up all the goodies in here. If I do it, I'll probably have it all on the floor. But as you can see, we've got the color of the rainbow. And the more colors you can eat in your diet, the healthier your body's going to become, because you're adding all of these nutritions into it. So we're going to add some, this one is the creamy balsamic. Look how delicious that is. Just going to drizzle that right over. I think this one is for either you or Kevin or Drew. Cameraman gets the first one. Of course, last week we thought you were the first one. You didn't get it till last, right, Kevin? All right, this one is the Asian tahini, yes. So we're just going to, normally you wouldn't use 3 dressings on your salad, but you are all going to get an opportunity to try which ones you do like. And then on top, I like to either sprinkle sunflower seeds. Make sure your seeds are all raw, unsalted, because then you're going to have, again, the living whole food. Once they toast them, what they do is add oils, they add table salt to it, they add preservatives. So we're just using some raw sunflower seeds that we're going to sprinkle on the top. Gives a little crunch. What I like to do is add raisins. You can add sesame seeds, you can add chia seeds, flax seeds. There's so many different toppings you can use, but it's not the prettiest, but it is going to be extremely healthy to you. And if you really want to consider changing your health, just change to a whole food plant-based for the health of it. Thank you all. Really enjoyed our class today, and thank you all for coming here.